Today I want to teach you a quick little tip on how to do some shadow work for your root chakra. If this interests you, stick around. Hi and welcome to the Wholeness Shift. My name's Veronica, and if this is your first time here, welcome. I teach people about easy, practical spirituality and intentional living. So if this stuff sounds good to you, hit the subscribe button below because I don't want you to miss anything good. So in the last few days, I've had this come up 3 separate times with 3 separate people. First, it was a coaching client, and then 2 separate people on Instagram commented with the same question. So I wanted to make a quick little video and just share a quick little tip. So I had posted this picture on Instagram about shadow work. And so people were wanting to know, how in the world do I do that? Like, any tips where to start? So let me tell you what has helped me in the past. So last year I was watching, oh my gosh, in this moment I can't remember her name. I want to say it's Lori Ladd. Can't remember, but I will find it and I will link to her, okay? And she was talking about, she had channeled a message from the Syrians, and the Syrians had said that they really want to help humanity with this ascension process and with raising their vibes. And so they want you to call on them every day and say something like, I'm calling on my Syrian friends, or I'm calling on the Syrian Council of Light to come assist me with raising my vibrations and anchoring them into a higher dimensional space. And to please help with anything that may be hindering that, any old patterns, habits, thought processes, etc. So I started doing that, and they had led me to doing some shadow work. They said it was really important and that I was holding on to a lot of stuff in my root chakra. You know, because I've had a lot of traumas, I have a lot of abandonment issues, a lot of trauma issues, not just from this lifetime either, other stuff too. And so they showed me how to start at the root and go from there. So what they had me do was meditate, get into a meditative space, and then I would say, please show me anybody that I perceive has hurt me, wronged me, or that I'm holding any kind of a grudge towards, or hurt about, or betrayal, that I'm holding on to any of that stuff, and I really do have some unforgiveness or some unresolved issues. Please show me. Because they told me I needed to be shown, then I needed to take responsibility for it or see how it was actually a blessing and then release it. So that's what I do. As I'm meditating and I would say that, like someone's face would be floating into my mind. I would get a face or a name. And some of them were no big deal. Like, I'd actually forgotten about them because this process took weeks. Weeks. I had a lot of stuff, I guess. But so someone's face would come into my head. It could be my ex-husband. It could be my brother. It could be my mother. I got like someone I was in 3rd grade with. I mean, it could be anybody. Just trust them to show you. And so I would get someone's face floating in or name, and I would just say, okay, well, I perceive that that person, and I'd say their name, hurt me or betrayed me or whatever the case may be, because they did this, they XYZ, did that stuff. In hindsight, looking back, I can see how that helped me. I may not have known it in the time, and it may even be hard to acknowledge now, but I can see that that opened a path for me to do this or that. I can see that it taught me this lesson. I can see that I became a stronger, more resilient person from that. I can see how, because of that, I started meditating and I grew spiritually, you know, whatever the case may be. I acknowledge how I would have contracted to have that happen in my life because it benefited me. And I acknowledged that I played a part in that in this way. I knew they weren't the person for me when I first met them, but I didn't follow my gut. I ignored my intuition. Or I didn't go to therapy to resolve those unhealed issues I had, and so I would react in a strong way, and so when they would pick a fight, I'd fight right back. Whatever the case may be in your situation or with that particular person, say how you perceive that they wronged you. In hindsight, looking back, how did that affect your life in any kind of a beneficial way? Acknowledge how you added to it or you called that situation into reality, and then thank them. Even the most horrible of people and situations, and I have a few, it's been tough for me, but I would just say, thank you for being willing to come into this reality and play the bad person in my life, the bad person, so that I can receive the lessons that I received. I'm no longer contracted with that. I no longer want to hold on to that. I have new chapters to live out. So I clear that from my subconscious and from my conscious, and I release it from my reality. Go in peace. And then I would take some deep breaths, and I'd say, okay, show me the next person. And I'd go person by person by person until I was so wiped out for the day, or I didn't have any more time. And then like the next day I would do more, or whatever. This process took weeks. But why don't you start there? See how it goes. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any more tips for shadow work. I'm always down to learn different ways to do some shadow work in various chakras or in different ways. So if you have any methods that work for you, please leave them in the comments so that we can all learn with you. All right, thanks you guys. Have a great day.